You
Don't
always
shoot the neighbor's chickens.
Only when you're hungry. No, choo. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Armin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Finally, even if it's only here on the screen, but finally we meet. I heard a lot of you, but I never met you in person.
The same here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching your videos since years, and I'm learning about archery.
Oh, thank you. So you think I could still teach you something?
And we know us from Facebook a little.
Yes, exactly.
And I have to thank you because you made a nice critique about my book.
Exactly. But it was a good book, so otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
I tried my best. The second one will even be better.
Okay, I wait for it.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
What are we doing now? Tell me, Peter. We met for a specific reason.
Yes, we said in times of COVID and global disaster, there have to be some calm people talking about archery and yes, about archery and various themes around archery, I'd say.
Oh, makes sense. I mean, you are very respected and well-known archer, the Bowman. You were even in China, so everybody knows you. So I guess you have a lot of experience. And I think it would be an interesting thing to do.
You know, I studied Howard Hill, who was my big idol, and I thought, oh, how is it possible to become such a great and such a famous archer? So I studied how he did it.
Yep.
And I also spent some time with Byron Ferguson and studied what he did, what he does. And so I found out it's not too difficult to become a famous archer.
What is needed for it? A lot of practice.
A lot of practice, and never, what I said before, never shoot at the target you can't hit.
Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's very good.
Only in your own backyard you can do this, but not in front of an auditory.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, otherwise, fame will not come to you. That's right.
It's clear.
So you since how long do you shoot bow and arrow?
I started exactly in 1990.
Okay.
And I always was in shooting. I like to shoot with firearms, but you can't do it in your own backyard, in your garden. And so I thought I like to shoot, and I need another device so I can go out in my garden and shoot as I like, when I like it. And I started with a compound bow. It was, it was when Sylvester Stallone made Rambo and so on. Everybody had a compound bow.
Of course.
Yes, and then I switched to a Bear Kodiak recurve bow into traditional. And later I read Saxon Pope, Hunting with the Bow and Arrow, and there were only long bows, English long bows, so I needed a long bow. I made my own arrows, like Saxon Pope described it in his work, and then I started shooting like that. But
I never read this book. Yeah, but we don't talk about this.
It's worth reading. It's worth reading.
Yeah,
really.
I'm not the biggest book reader, but this is
So I was honored that you read my book. I know.
You forced me to. No, I'm joking.
Yes.
But
I couldn't hit anything. I had no idea how to hit constantly. This was always a kind of how is it called, luck game.
Yeah, I still have this problem. Yeah, the more I shoot, the more lucky shots I have.
And then I saw the videos of Fred Bear. You know, these were VHS tapes.
Yeah, of course.
1,000 times recorded and and so on. And this was like a cartoon. This was very, very, you couldn't detect real details, but you know what they did.
Yeah.
And then I saw Howard Hill shooting, and I thought, oh, that looks easy. That looks very elegant. Choop, 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 and he hits his target.
Yeah.
And so I studied his style, and that's where I remained.
Makes sense.
Because it's not an ideology, but Howard Hill could argue about every detail of his shooting and of his equipment. It was not just, okay, this is stylish or so. So he said, oh no, I need this hunting head, or I need this bow, and so on.
Yeah.
And he started with English longbows, and not he alone, but he developed this model. And as you know, bamboo is the best material you can find in limbs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very light and very springy.
Strong, but flexible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And the less mass is in the limbs, the faster the limb will go forward. And
the less vibration, less hand shock, all these benefits, of course.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, and I stayed with these Howard Hill bows. And I like to shoot them.
I never shot one, so I can't tell.
Yeah, you will get addicted when you.
When I visit you, you let me shoot one, and then
yes, because even in your Asiatic, or how you call it, Asian bow,
Asiatic bows, reflex bows, short reflex bows. Yeah,
there are vibrations,
of course.
But in a straight limbed bow with no mass in the ends and in the limbs, there's no vibration. So you get the whole power, the whole energy into the arrow. And that sounds good for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
And low stretch strings, I only use very dry, hard, fast flat strings on them. It's no problem.
Yep.
If you pluck the string, ding.
No,
like
a guitar.
Yes.
Nice. Cool.
And when did you start to shoot the bow and arrow?
I was 15, 16 years old, so it's quite a time ago. I was
because you wanted to impress the girls.
No, not at all. I was on the way with the junior of this office I worked, and he said, "Oh, I need to go home quickly." He said, "Yeah, okay." And then I stood in his garden. I saw a target. And then when he came back from his house, I said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's for archery." Then he gave me a bow and some arrows, and it was a brown bear from Fredbear compound. This really old one, but from the shelf, no sights, nothing. And I said, "Yeah, here, have fun." And then this was my entry in archery. And then nobody showed me how to shoot. So I made every mistake you can possibly make. And of course, YouTube was not there at this time. And books, German language books, nothing.
Yeah.
At least I didn't find anything. So I had only the chance to go. We had a local, the Black Hill Bow Hunters. So I went to them sometimes and had a look how they shoot. And so do this and do this and do this. And then I simply copied. Still did it not wrong because didn't use my back muscles and whatever. So it took a long time until I got there.
Yeah.
But suppose I got there someday. Yeah.
And like you say, in these days you couldn't ask anyone.
Nothing.
You could nobody. There were no books in German, and there were no movie or something or documentation. Nothing.
And YouTube was really not there at this point that you could learn something from a YouTube video. I still think YouTube videos can help, but they don't solve all the problems. They can guide you a little, but especially YouTube doesn't look at you when you do something wrong. And I see it even here with students. Sometimes they come once, you show them how to shoot, then they disappear for weeks and they shoot at home, and then they come back with totally shoulders out of a line or whatever, not even an anchor point or whatever. Bad habits when nobody corrects them all the time. That's why I think it's always good to have a teacher in the beginning who shows you the basics and guides you for a while, that you get this muscle memory done. Once you have it in your muscle memory, then it's fine, and you can change styles, you can shoot whatever, but you need to get this done first. But this, I had no one, so I had to learn it the hard way. I even ruined my muscle because this bow was way too heavy. I have here a bump which points out, because I was always like pulling this. I wanted to shoot. I couldn't shoot anymore, but I wanted to shoot. This bow was way too heavy for me. But the mistakes we make.
When we began, it was the same with you. I think the
Mm.
ladies started with 40 pounds
Yeah,
and the guys with 50 pounds.
yeah.
And I don't know how it was in Germany
Mm,
when we started. We used the same equipment. Because this 3D shooting that was from hunting,
mhm.
so we used the same equipment we would use for hunting, just with
Yeah,
field points.
yeah.
But we used 145 and 160 grain field points and
Mm,
65-pound bows and so
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Today it's quite the opposite. They've
Mm,
little feathers and, like,
yeah, exactly.
knitting needles,
Mm,
knit needle arrows.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
And
Yeah.
there comes a bodybuilder with 2 meters in
Mm,
height, and
mm,
so, oh, it's 28 pounds. It will hurt my
mhm,
shoulder, maybe.
mhm. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
muscles don't help when you don't know how to. I had
Yeah,
many of them here. They like just out of the gym, and then we shoot here with the snake bows, 26, 22 pounds.
yeah,
And then he stood there in full draw and started checking. So
yeah,
what the heck is wrong with you?
yeah.
Oh, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. Yeah, yeah. Doesn't
The
help.
first sentence, one of the first sentences I always say to my archery clients,
Mm,
I say, forget everything connected to power or to force.
yeah.
You can easily pull this, and these
Mhm.
snake bows. These are
Yeah,
great bows.
everybody,
This
of course.
best thing around, and for the
If
price.
yeah, of course.
Great stuff. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And when they forget about they have to pull and to shoot, and so when they forget about, they start to hit.
Then it works exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It always
Yep.
takes
Yep.
a while to get them there. I know.
Yep.
But this
Yep.
is the nice challenge, and you learn while you teach, so it's always fine.
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. And did you know these snake bows were used I think in the second movie of Hunger Games, but the bow
Paint-
was
Spray painted
painted
in
in
silver. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, it was the
They
same
say
bow.
so. I'm not sure if it is. I didn't watch it really carefully because Hunger Games was not really a movie which was interesting for me, especially when you see her shooting style. I think we don't have to talk about this now.
Yes, yes,
She would
yes, yes,
have no
yes.
nose by now anymore. You're standing there with a full draw.
It's silent about her. No,
Yeah,
nothing.
don't know.
We
No
don't hear
idea.
a lot about her.
She did a few movies, but I don't know.
Also, Jennifer Lawrence. No, yeah,
I think so.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can have our opinions about actors. I think there are
Maybe she
others.
married.
Maybe she's busy or whatever. You never know.
Don't need any money
Yeah, but
anymore.
was interesting.
Yes, yes.
At least for me, there was in this time I was in Lebanon, was teaching there at a international school, archery and tai chi, and then many of the older
Young
students,
girls.
which that I didn't have in class, they came to me, oh, Hunger Games in the movies, can you
Yeah,
show
yeah,
me
yeah,
now?
yeah.
Can you show me? So there was a really big boom for archery in general. I think the Hunger
Yes, with
Games.
schoolgirls. I had the same with
Yeah, yeah,
schoolgirls.
yeah.
Oh, yes, I like to.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I wanted to do archery. And that was good for for archery. Yeah.
Yeah, a good
Mm,
promotion movie.
yep.
As was Rambo, of course, because
Yeah,
in these hunting stores they sold bear archery equipment,
of course.
compound bows by the mass.
But everybody wanted to have the grenade tips for the
Yeah,
arrows. These
yeah,
exploding tips. Yeah, of course. There was really, yeah, of course. He was the
yeah,
first. I mean, it was even before Deliverance with Burt
yeah,
Reynolds. It was a classic
yeah,
movie. Huh?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
famous movie.
And if you ever read the book, you see the James Dickey was the author, I think.
Hmm.
He was really into archery. He
Hmm.
was friend with Fred Bear.
Yeah, you have to, otherwise you wouldn't have seen all these details in the movie. You could see
Yeah,
that there is someone knowing what he's doing. I
yeah.
mean, I was working once on a film set here. We did the Dove Keepers. It was a two-part series for CBS, where the Romans against the last Jews in this fortress in Masada or whatever up
Hmm,
there,
hmm,
and they
hmm.
fought there for 2 years. And I had to teach the actors and the special skills archery. And then I had this idea that the Romans shoot three-finger style, Western style, but the Jews should shoot thumb release. And I explained it to the director, and he was looking at me like, turned around and went away. They didn't care. They put then the Roman soldiers, they had their red cape, and
Hmm.
they put a back quiver above the red cape. Said, listen, it's not going to work, and the Romans didn't even shoot bow and arrow because it was not their weapon. They hired, hey, this is how she remembers it, so shut up. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was silent, and I simply,
But in Jewish tradition, there is archery. I once did a shooting in Vienna with a Vienna synagogue, and it was on Lag BaOmer, it's a Jewish holiday,
Okay.
and there is for the youngs, for the youth, it's tradition to shoot the bow and arrow because it's kind of remembering this bow and arrow Judaic war and so on.
Okay,
It was
nice.
very interesting.
Cool. Yeah. I only wanted to make a difference to let it show that, different styles
So who is
meeting
who?
somebody.
Yeah,
They didn't care. But it was a fun time for me. So it's fun.
Yes, and with directors and so on, they are not history guys. They like to do their job and make it simple. And if it's too much difficulties, so they say, "Oh no, it's good like it is."
Yeah. Yeah, they don't care. It needs to look good. It's the same with when you have fights. No real fight would look like a Hollywood fight. You always punch one and you wait until he punches back. Then you punch him again.
Yes.
It's simply
And you can't fence 10 minutes.
It's not going to work.
Impossible.
That's why Hollywood. But some take it a bit more serious, as in Deliverance. They shot quite realistic archery. And others like whatever, Lord of the Rings with Legolas. I did once, he had this nice back quiver in a scene where he shot very fast. And then I freeze framed here the frame when he just grabbed the arrow, and you could see there is no arrow. And when his hand came to the bow, all of a sudden an arrow appeared. I said, listen, he never shot a real arrow.
Cut it,
A CGI, it was simply put in afterwards. Even in the Stuff Keepers movie, they never shot one arrow. Yes, we shot a few flaming arrows, but on the scene, they never shot arrows. They always dry fired the bows. And I said, listen, these bows, they've got crappy bows, fiberglass bows. These cheap horse bows from somewhere. I said, listen, they will break. Oh, no, it's fine. I said, put instead of a string, a rubber band there. And it still bends a little, but you don't. And then the main actor, the bow exploded in the face of the main actor. I said, look, and this could have ended now badly. But they simply, and then they got some others, same cheap shit, and they continued dry firing bows. And I was like, sure. Okay.
And they put all the arrows in with CGI?
Yeah, all of
them. They let the actors shoot, and then
dry firing, and then later on in post-production the arrows came in.
Okay.
Only there was one scene where the Romans shot flaming arrows, and we only had 5 fire arrows with tips, and then we shot these 5, and we copied the scene 4 times, so they had then 20 archers shooting. Hilarious.
We tried this with these flaming arrows back then, and it was horrible because all arrows went out,
of course,
because of the shooting.
Yeah, when you shoot a strong bow or fast bow, to keep this fire going, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. I think we used then steel wool or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, then it works. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, movies and being historically correct, it doesn't always have to be.
But on the other hand, when the guys say, "Oh, that's wrong, that's not authentic, and that's that and that," it's also not okay to me. To me, every movie is a kind of fairy tale. So my favorite movie is this old Robin Hood movie with Errol Flynn, because with all the colors, and it's made like a fairy tale.
Exactly.
And when I once did a performance in Vienna, you have seen the pictures, I think, on Facebook with this Robin Hood costume. Oh, that's not authentic, and that's not. No, it's not authentic. I'm a fairy tale archer. It's not authentic. It's not history. It's not a history school.
It's even the question with Robin Hood in general. Was it a real person or not? Or did it exist? Or there are different stories out. And of course, somebody made, like with other famous people in history, like Jesus, they make up some stories and whatever.
I read a very good book about Robin Hood. It's by James C. Holt. And he looks into it, and it sounds very clever what he says. There were persons, they were called Robin Hood, also in old cult records, cult, you know what I mean? And but it's like with our legends, they put different adventures onto this person. In original, there were short rhymes about Robin Hood, Robin Hood and the baker, Robin Hood and the potter, and so on. And so they put this together, and this whole thing with the Normans and Saxons was added later. But Ivanhoe, I think, Ivanhoe,
Ivanhoe the
Sir
Black Man.
Walter's.
Yeah.
Yes, it was by Sir Walter Scott, and he put a Robin Hood feature into the story, and there was the conflict between the Saxons and the Normans and so on. This was in the movies too. But Robin Hood is a myth, and that's okay.
Except for me, okay too. He did a lot for archery anyway. Because
of course.
Every third one who comes into the Malta-Archery range, hey, I watched Robin Hood, I know how to shoot. It's fine.
Yeah.
Of course, that's why it helps. Everything which promotes archery in a good way is fine by me, even if it's not historically correct. And I mean, who knows what was exactly historically correct? Like this discussion, is the arrow always on the left side of an English longbow, or can you shoot it on the right side? There is one YouTube channel, Shadiversity. He did a lot of discussions about it, and he shoots now the same accurate with the arrow on the right side, and doesn't even shoot Slavic, where he holds the arrow. He shoots normal 3-finger, split finger, and shoots from the right side, and works the same way. So I think simply don't be so narrow-minded. Simply accept that there are many ways to shoot a bow and arrow. We are all archers. We all shoot bow and arrow. So why should we fight? We should help each other.
With the arrows on this or that side, in my opinion, if you think about hunting and stalking with a bow and arrow, I think on the left side is way better. You can walk with the bow, with the nocked arrow, and so on, and you can raise it and shoot fast, and it's very natural also with the back quiver, and so.
Fully agree. You see it with the Amazonian Indians, the native Indians in Amazonian. They have the arrow on the left side, and even when they go fishing, you can hold longer, and the arrow stays there. Of course, it always depends on application. Whatever works in a certain situation.
When I was in Korea, it is what this big archery festival, and there were archers from around the world, and one archer, Jorge, he was from Peru, and he is a criminal policeman, but he searches and he's a kind of scientist about these Amazonian Indian tribes. One tribe especially he writes books about and talks to them and so on. And I asked him why they have such long arrows, and he said they don't know. They don't know it themselves.
I could understand when you go fish hunting, because when you see the fish under the water, and you think the fish is there, but it's not there because you only see the reflection. So I think when you have a long arrow and you can dip the tip of the arrow already in the water, you get more a feeling of where the fish is. So I think that could help.
And the same is true with very dense jungle. So you can get the arrow point in front of the ape. Only the arrow point is 1 meter distance from the ape, and you release, and he will.
Exactly.
You get it.
You're closer to the target already.
Yeah. And same with fishing. You can stay away from the water surface where, I don't know if you ever have bow fished.
No, I'm not a hunter by any means.
We did it on carp. It's prohibited, of course. But you need to put, white bread into the water. And
to get them.
And feed this white bread, and you see them. They look out of the water. They see your silhouette on the beach or on the
shore.
On the shore. Yes, yes. So yes, but it's fun. It's forbidden, but it's fun.
It's very interesting because you need special equipment for it. That the arrow is on a reel. Otherwise, if you shoot it and it swims away, doesn't help.
But it's very simple. You just need a kind of like a cigarette box size device, and you wrap and here you with tape you put it on your bow, and it works great.
And you need a tip which has that with these hooks.
A barb.
Exactly.
A barb. Yes,
Yeah.
because so the arrow
That you
wouldn't
can
come
pull
out.
it otherwise. Yeah.
Yes, but
That's right.
that's all
Exactly.
the secrets
Mm.
about.
Yeah.
And you don't shoot very far, of course.
Yeah, yeah, but don't have to. You see the fish 3-4 meters and you shoot there.
Yes,
Of course,
and
you
you
don't
shoot at the
don't
you
shoot
shoot
the
at the fish when he's on the surface, when
exactly. Yeah, when he's eating, because then you know
feeding.
where it
Yeah,
is exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Because otherwise, when you see the reflection, it can be 1 meter underneath, and you shoot way too
yeah,
high
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
you see
yeah,
the
yeah.
reflection. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you shoot like that, and this Amazonian Indians, so maybe they shoot like that because they look from above into the water in deeper.
I was never there, but maybe they have their reason for it, even if they forgot. But they had the
Yeah,
reasons why the arrows are so
yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
never
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe it has even to do with flight dynamics. This is one topic we could talk about another time with the spine. Everybody
Yep.
always said the spine needs to be stiff enough. But when you think about atl, you ever threw atl? You know,
Yeah,
with the
I
device,
tried.
they flex quite a lot in the air, and they should flex, and they fly better when you have a very flexible one and you throw it away, because it snaps away when you throw it. When you have like a broomstick, it
You
simply
load.
flies straight. You get more, you store
Yes.
energy in the atl, and then it springs away. And why
Yes.
not the same with bow and arrow? That an arrow, when it flexes, of course, you need to have this Archer's paradox, which is another topic in the future, to overcome this. But then I think even a flexible arrow will do very good.
Partly I agree,
Mm-hmm.
but
So
with
you
hunting,
partly disagree.
yes,
It's fine.
in hunting it's different
Yeah, of course.
because you need a really straight arrow,
Yeah,
a straight arrow flight,
you have a heavy
because
tip and you need a straight arrow flight, of course.
and that's the reason, because on hunting arrows the feathers are that big, because in some situations you have to shoot about 4 to 6 meters, so
Mm-hmm.
you like your stabilized arrow
You
in
need,
5
of course.
meters and not
Yeah.
like
You
that.
you don't have time that the arrow stabilizes over 20 meters, needs
Yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah,
put on,
yeah,
of course. Yeah, that's why
yeah,
always application,
yeah.
whatever, everything has a reason in archery. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you need to know for what purpose you need your equipment. So
Exactly.
I would be the first person to say, okay, I have to live from my hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I would use a compound bow, of
Yeah,
course.
of
I
course.
would stand on a tree with a compound bow. It's easier. And when I go hunting for fun,
Mm-hmm.
for meat, but also for fun, I don't have to live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I can toy around with a long bow, a recurve bow, or
Exactly.
something like
Yeah,
that.
of course.
And
Yeah. This is what I always don't understand. Many people ask me, "Oh, which horsebow should I get for hunting?" I said, "No horsebow. You either get, if you want to keep it traditional, take a good recurve with a shelf with an arrow rest on it, and practice properly, or get a compound bow. Because nothing beats a
yeah,
compound
yeah,
bow, center shot bow when you go hunting. It's the safest way because it has an ethical. It's that you kill this animal really, and not only make it
yeah,
bleed and die whatever 2 hours
yeah,
later
yeah.
somewhere.
In one occasion, I had a guy who was a kind of Indian fan,
Mm-hmm.
North American Indian fan, and he had
Yeah.
an Indian bow, and
Mm-hmm.
the arrow was not heavy enough. The
Mm-hmm.
point was not heavy enough, and
Yeah.
so he had poor penetration and so on, and that's not okay. And you have to think about traditional, which tradition at what time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and all these special archers or good archers or legendary archers
Mm-hmm.
in their days, they were the opposite of traditionalists.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they
Fred
wouldn't be.
Bear was not a traditionalist.
Yeah, totally not.
Howard Hill was not a traditionalist.
Yeah,
They used the best stuff they could get
exactly. Yeah.
for their mission or their job, or they like.
What works for them exactly?
Yeah, yeah,
Is what I always say. Find the equipment which works for you, for your purpose, and then practice with it. It's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love to shoot a Howard Hill longbow with aluminum arrows or
Mm-hmm.
carbon arrows.
Yeah.
Why not? I love the seed arrows. No
Yeah,
problem.
of course. Yeah.
But if I break one seed arrow, my set is ruined.
Exactly.
If I break one aluminum or arrow, I
Yeah.
buy another one and make
Exactly.
exactly this one arrow, so the set is
Exactly. I know. I
complete
should
again.
I should mostly carbon arrows because of this. It's the
They're
easiest
great. They're great,
easiest
yes.
maintenance. If one breaks, you replace it. Fine. I have beautiful wood arrows, and last time I did a review and speed test too close to the hay bale, and 3 of these beautiful bows broke. The arrows broke directly. I was like, yeah, don't shoot them anymore. They look these pretty ones up there, so they look quite nice.
Yes.
But it's when one breaks, you have a set of 12, and then one breaks. Where do I get it? Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah.
So what we gonna do?
Yeah, I think we always have something interesting to tell, and maybe 1 or 2 people want to listen. What we have to say.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Your girl fans, of course, your fan club, or not?
I don't have a fan club. I think it's a very small fan club. A few YouTube.
I thought there at your archery range there are many groupies who, I mean, show us how.
No, happened, never. And I'm not still. I mean, even if some people know me now from YouTube, I'm not used to it. I was 2 years ago, I think, when there was this archery fair in Linz, not in Linz, in Wales. And I went there with my friend from Linz. We said, let's go. And we were walking at the entrance, and then a guy came from the side. Hey, hello. Thank you for your YouTube videos. You saved my life. And we're like,
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm not used to it.
Same happened to me in Korea. I didn't know these people, and they, I know your videos. I know your YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, okay. Yes.
But it's. I think it's about because you were one of the first YouTubers doing archery stuff, I think, and I was also very early. I think I started about 2010, and there, there were not so many.
Not so many. Now there's a lot
around.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I have even many here. Yeah, they learn from YouTube, and then they said, that doesn't mean first anything, and they shoot like crap, but everybody thinks now because he can make a YouTube video, he's a specialist.
Yeah.
I saw one, even we talk about Lars Andersen, maybe in another video, he showed how to speed shoot like Lars Andersen. He had no subscribers yet. And then he showed it. So it should look and work like this. I can't do it right now, but this is how it's supposed to work. I mean, a tutorial like this.
He couldn't do it, but he...
And I wrote to him, guy, first practice it, maybe 1, 2, 3 years. And when you can do it, then do a video and tell me how I have to do it. But please, okay. So, but this, we have them and people watch it. So in our times, it was tricky to find something because YouTube was not so famous. And now you have a load of information in YouTube and you need to find the right one. Yeah. Now you have the opposite problem.
But I don't know. There's I think an Asian guy, I don't know, he makes very good YouTube videos. He also debunked some of Lars Andersen's stuff. I don't know his channel. Next,
but I think I know who you mean.
A very serious guy, how like that, and so. And he shoots in his backyards and always debunks some stuff. I like him. You see, we can make one issue about good channels we like to watch.
Exactly.
It's another theme. Another subject we can talk about.
Exactly. And if the people who watch our podcast have an idea or a question, then they can simply write it in the comments down there, and we collect them and we pick them up and we try to answer them. Or maybe we have only then a frequently asked question session. We see.
It's nice for them to write some commentaries, so they think we care about. They can write them, and
but the thing is, I really care about my comments. I did last time when I had my 50,000 subscriber video, and then I did a giveaway, and I said simply comment something why you think you deserve this bow. And it was a nice bow from Kusel, and it was really a nice, expensive bow. And then I got almost 1,000 comments. And reading 1,000 comments, it was like hours and hours. I couldn't read, and I was like, I need to stop. I need to continue tomorrow. And it was, but I read every comment because
you need a nice secretary.
Yeah, I know, but my YouTube
with a short skirt and
I
mean, there are so many commentaries.
Yeah, we think about that.
Who knows?
Yeah, we never know. No, but I really read always all the comments, and I try to answer to them because everybody takes its time watching my video. So I try to take my time and answer if they have a question.
Yes,
But of course, if it's a repetitive question and always the same, or which bow did you use in this video? When I do a bow review about a specific bow, then simply it's already written in the title and mentioned the name most probably 5 times, and you can read the link in the description to the bow builder. Some questions are, then I don't answer, but most questions I answer.
No, you're right. You owe this kind of attention to your viewers. It's
I think so, and it makes me as if I feel that it's normal that I have to answer. Of course, you get some stupid comments. In the beginning, I was always then commenting against this stuff, and challenge.
You can't win. You can't win.
It's you have couch potatoes and couch experts. They know everything better, and I simply tell them, listen, if you think so, do a video, post it on YouTube, and I will watch it. And then you don't hear and see anything of them anymore. It's what you have to deal with. You expose yourself in person, and the others can simply comment anonymous, so you don't know who it is or whatever. They simply can type whatever they like, and this is internet.
I had the honor to be sometimes with Byron Ferguson and also to film some of his stage shows. On my channel I have some, and what a distance and something like that. And I say then, okay, find a person who gives you $5,000 for 40 minutes, and then you make it better. Exactly. Byron Ferguson gets $5,000 for 30 minutes of his performance. So if you can do better, do better.
Of course, do better. You get more money.
Show me, make a video.
Exactly.
Show me.
Yeah, always. It's normal, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, because they don't have, many people don't have any idea about showmanship. They don't know.
Yeah.
They think that's serious and that's a limit, and so you can't go to your limits on stage. Of course not.
Of course
not.
No.
Why should you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But this is what we have to deal with as a kind of public person. You have to deal with these things.
Yes.
But I still read all my comments. Yes.
Who knows? Who knows what lots we get now?
We will see. Yeah,
evil comments. Yes, and so the plan is to make one podcast once a week.
Exactly. For now, once a week podcast.
Yes.
And then we see how it goes.
Yes, maybe we can do some specials.
Exactly.
Or invite the third guest.
Exactly. Invite someone. Exactly. It's interesting. Let's hope that people enjoy what we do, that they like to listen to us. And if they like it, then we can build up on this. And then we simply continue every week, do a nice podcast. I think we have a lot of topics and a lot of themes and a lot of experience where we can talk about.
Yes, and people can be happy because now they have the possibility to hear really the truth about archery.
Exactly.
Every question they will send us, they will get the ultimate answer.
Then they get an answer out of experience, not out of. I watched a YouTube video and he said it is so. It's out of pure own experience. And of course, but on the other side, our two opinions not always match. That's why it's quite interesting, because sometimes we might have a different opinion, but it's fully okay.
Yes, and we have different. You're more in Asian archery, and I'm more in Western archery. Exactly. So we can compare this. Or you don't know a lot about hunting. I know more, but I don't know a lot about thumb ring shooting, and so we can learn about this. It's a good combination, I think.
I had this idea. You were invited too when this 4D archery came. These two guys, they made these archery cinemas, and then they wanted to do these competitions and like X Factor, and they asked you and they asked me to be in the jury. And I said, and I always said, listen, and when this is really going to happen on stage, I will ask Peter that we do a shootout. He does 3 fingers, I do thumb release, and how more pure you can get, a challenge, like whatever, some shooter, but it never happened. So nothing ever happened there.
Yeah, because I talked a lot with this guy. I don't remember his name. he wanted to do it low budget, and that don't works.
I was even flying to Cologne once for a week and gave a course for free, because I said, listen, we need some footage, we need some videos, we need some photos of giving a course of how it's done, and to promote it, I really offer my time, but they, nothing.
And I told him the kind of mistake was to connect it to the archery scene, to the archery community, and that's wrong. You had to get outside of the archery community, because
Everybody
in
who
the
never
archery
shot.
community they are just chillers and say, "Oh, what's that shit?" and so on. But if you, and I have to say, it was always my goal, like Howard Hill did, to get archery into entertainment.
Yeah, of course.
So you have most of your enemies are in the archery community.
Yeah, of course.
Outside of the archery community, say, "Oh, that's great what you're doing," and so on. And that's the fact. That's the fact.
Exactly.
And he bet on the wrong horse. You don't hear anything about it, no?
Nothing anymore. The other one was asking me once if I still have contacts. I said no. And then they wanted to, if I would have an indoor space here, then they would even pay me one of their
sell their equipment to you.
No, not selling, because first they wanted to sell it. Said, listen, I don't care. And then they said, okay, you can have one. We will install one. You only take care about the target. We take care about the rest. But I don't have an indoor range anymore, so it didn't make sense for me.
And I found out the bad thing about this was the videos didn't stop.
Exactly. It was a good idea when you have it at home and you shoot alone and practice a bit. It's fine. But when you have 4 archers there and it doesn't recognize which arrow is which, it's a good idea, but it's quite limited. I would have another idea, and once I have a lot of time and a bit money, I will build a 4D cinema, which really blows people's minds.
And it's available even for firearms. You know, this technology is here.
Exactly. We only have to use it in the right way.
With counting and with everything.
Everything, yeah, of course.
But in the USA, they have this special, I don't know how they call it, electro arrows, and so there are a lot of ranges like this.
Yeah, of course, exists all.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So, so if the viewers like to see more, they can subscribe to our channels.
Exactly.
They can ask questions, or they can say, "Hey, talk about this team or this subject."
Exactly.
And yes, and we will publish it on YouTube, on our channels.
Yes, of course. For now on YouTube, and then we see later. If there is another way or a better way or a more efficient way, I don't know. But for now, we keep it on YouTube. Everybody can subscribe. I will always announce it on Facebook when the video is up, or share it on Facebook so people know.
I share it, yes.
Exactly. So we share it everywhere, and then we see.
Sounds like a plan, Armin.
Almost, yeah. We did very well. So thumbs up. But no, you need to put 3 fingers up, because you shoot 3 fingers. I'm the thumb shooter.
So yes.
But not that loud.
You don't know what kind of political symbol this is. I don't know. I don't make anything.
No symbols. Well, like George Carlin said, I keep symbols for the symbol-minded. Yeah, exactly.
The index finger is for the IS, no?
I don't know. Is it?
I think, yes.
Okay,
so it's
okay, so we show no fingers. Okay, no.
It's a family-friendly.
Exactly. Is it
podcast?
Since when? Okay, we make it.
Okay,
good. Was a lot of fun, and first of all, it was a pleasure now to meet you, that we could have a talk. It's very interesting to talk to you. I mean, I see there's a lot of information in this brain, and you let it come out. It's nice.
Thank you. Okay, it was nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
And yes, let's go on.
So, guys, subscribe, comment, and then we see.
Shoot straight.
Exactly.
Practice, shoot straight, take care. Stay safe.
Yes.
Don't shoot the neighbor's chickens.
Only when you're hungry. No, shoot. Yeah, stay safe and do it in a responsible way always.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfecto.
So goodbye, Armin.
Then, thank you. Goodbye, Peter, and
goodbye,
goodbye, guys, or everybody who's watching. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.